I just tell the truth, and telling the truth is crazy in a world full of lies. If you mix brilliance with bravery, that we can ignite something. Even this conversation alone can ignite the people.
The time is now to express and for people to believe in themselves. The time is now for it to be okay to be great. People in this world shun people for being great, for being a bright color, for standing out. But the time is now to be okay to be the greatest you.
Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Kelly. We're back with another video. If y'all are new to the channel and you enjoy true crime stories, news, politics, and so much more, please hit that subscribe button, guys. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you're a returning listener or subscriber, thank you as always for being a friend. Like the video if you like it. Give me a comment about the topic. Let me know what you think, guys. Really does help me out when y'all interact, and I appreciate everyone for watching this video, and I thank you in advance. So guys, I wanted to jump on here and talk about this latest development in the Melly case, which is going to be resuming here shortly in the next couple of weeks. They're supposed to be doing jury selection and getting prepared for this next round of this shit show trial that we covered not too long ago. I had missed the first one. Now the retrial is coming up after the hung jury, and there's some new developments, guys, that were pretty interesting. So I wanted to talk to you guys about it, get y'all's thoughts, let me know what y'all think, and once they actually do start the process, if they do, and I say that if, because these newest developments could put a kaput on the entire trial, but we'll see. I don't know if that'll happen. Let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing that came out was the accusations by the prosecution and the arrest of Bortland, YW Bortland, which is the co-defendant of YW Melly in this trial, who hasn't even had his day in court yet. He's been out on bond for the past 3 or 4 years, something like that, and has yet to even begin his first trial. His was delayed by the trial of YW Melly. So he was recently arrested, his bond was revoked, and both himself and YW Melly were charged with witness tampering, which is a huge deal apparently. I knew obviously to some degree that this is not a good thing, but apparently in the trial process, in a court of law, witness tampering is highly a big deal. And if you are caught doing this, it pretty much solidifies your guilt in the minds of many people. So let's get into this article and then we'll get into some of the video. Florida prosecutors have charged rapper YW Melly with witness tampering ahead of his retrial on double murder charges, even as his attorneys accuse them of conspiring to hide evidence that the lead detective may have lied in a related investigation. So they charged Melly this week with making sure a key witness didn't testify at his first murder trial, which ended in July with a hung jury that voted 9-3 for conviction. Jury selection in the retrial of the 24-year-old rapper is set to start next week, with opening statements anticipated in early November. So prosecutors said in documents released late Wednesday that Melly is with the Bloods street gang. They say he used phone calls made by other jail inmates at his request and letters passed between them to get messages to Blood members on the streets. Those members successfully made sure a key witness didn't testify, prosecutors say. James Benjamin, Melly's attorney, told the Associated Press the tampering charges are clearly retaliation after he and law partner Daniel Aronson accused Broward County State Attorney Harold Pryor and his underlings of a cover-up. He said Pryor, lead prosecutor KRISTINE Bradley, and others conspired to hide that the lead detective in the murder investigation had been accused by a prosecutor in their office of asking another law enforcement officer to lie in a related case. They have asked Circuit Judge John Murphy to dismiss the charges or at least assign new prosecutors from outside the county, as they plan to call Pryor and others from his office as witnesses. A hearing on these motions is planned Friday.
Your Honor, I believe, based on your body language, with your arms crossed and a scowl on your face, looking at us like we did something wrong, should be much more.
This is really serious.
This is so serious. Why do you think we're all here?
Bombshell allegations in a Florida courtroom on Friday, as lawyers for South Florida rapper YNW Melly allege Broward County prosecutors committed a felony themselves in the rapper's double murder case.
You indicated here that counsel for the defendant believes that there is probable cause that the witnesses under subpoena, the members of the state attorney's office and the elected state attorney, to have committed obstruction of justice and attempted witness tampering and felony pursuant to FS 838.022 for misuse of public office due to their actions since October of 2020.
That's what it says, Your Honor.
That's right. Very serious allegation.
Very serious allegation, very serious.
A 10-page motion filed by the defense on September 26 says the state had possession of evidence that would have impeached the credibility of a lead investigator in the case, Detective Mark Moretti. The motion goes on to say the state should have presented the evidence to the defense prior to the trial.
Maybe they should get their own lawyer. Maybe they should take the fit. But we need to ferret it out.
But before the court could figure it out, Judge John Murphy, the same judge from Melly's first trial, demanded lead prosecutor KRISTINE Bradley be at the hearing because so many of the defense's claims center around her.
Typically, what I do when I have a raid or some issue about it, the prosecutor who's involved in it tells me, she comes in here, she's got an obligation of candor to the court, and I ask her a question, and she advises me as to what's going on and why there's a change, why something like that. But she's not here. This is her case. We spent 2 or 3 months trying the case originally. It came to a hung jury, but she's not here for this. I don't understand.
What a shit show. I mean, what? This is the problem, okay? This woman left such a bad taste in my mouth after I got through watching all of the trial coverage and all of the footage. Like, you know, she started off good. Like, I'd liked her opening statement. You know, I thought that she was, but like, she just fell apart as the process went on, as the court proceedings went on, day after day. It was just so apparent that she was invested on such a personal level where she let her emotions, and I feel like she let her, I don't know, like she let her reputation or her feelings about the case take over, and her credibility just dwindled. And so the fact that like they have brought this motion forward to dismiss the case, her case that she tried so poorly, and she's not even there, to the degree that the judge is now like reprimanding her in open court for her not being there, and they had to actually drag her ass in. It's scandalous. It is pearl-clutchingly outrageous.
Bradley is eventually brought into the courtroom to testify, but not
How
before the judge hears
embarrassing.
from the woman, Assistant State Attorney Michelle Boudreaux, who waved the flag reporting concerns about Detective Moretti's credibility.
Detective Moretti said to Deputy Morell, "You need to say you were here when I served that search warrant." And it was kind of like an awkward moment. Someone described it just kind of getting punched twice in the head. So there's a search warrant that gets served, and I'm like, what's going on? And then the next thing, he's asking this deputy to lie for him. And again, I'm like, this isn't like, I'm in the twilight, so I'm like, this can't really be happening.
Here's where the allegations start. In October 2022, Detective Moretti met with Jamie King, YNW Melly's mother. Investigators were trying to determine whether or not she was involved in witness tampering before Melly's case went to trial. Boudreaux was there.
Miss King reached into her purse, and she was fumbling with her phone.
You know what she's doing?
You know, it's a phone, so she has this phone. I couldn't tell you what type of phone she had. She was pressing buttons on it. And Detective Moretti was saying over and over again, don't turn off that phone, don't turn off that phone. I knew she was doing something on her phone. I just couldn't swear to exactly what it was that she was doing on the phone. It looked like she was turning off her phone or sending a message or doing something on it. I just couldn't tell. There was a scuffle going on.
Okay, and what did Detective Moretti do?
Detective Moretti physically took the phone from her.
Boudreaux testified that after Jamie King and her attorney left the conference room, Boudreaux says she later overheard Detective Moretti showing a willingness to lie about the phone seizure.
You say anything to Moretti?
No, I don't say anything to Moretti. I leave the room. I'm done with the statement. As far as I'm concerned, I'm done investigating this case.
Why?
Because I don't work with detectives that solicit lies.
Boudreaux says she notified
my.
KRISTINE Bradley about Detective Moretti's remarks right after they happened and learned Bradley called an internal affairs investigation into Detective Moretti, who claimed he was joking. KRISTINE Bradley testified next and gave her own account of what happened.
This woman, what an embarrassment. I mean, my goodness. You can just tell from her face, she's just such a smug little witch, okay? And I don't know, I can't think of a more recent example of seeing someone who is in a public office like this, like a prosecutor, fall so hard, and be made to look like such an idiot as this woman was. It's really appalling. I mean, normally the prosecutor doesn't have this bad of a reputation at the end of a trial that, made herself look like such an idiot. Witnesses made her look stupid. You might have a detective here and there or other state's witnesses that maybe look a little corrupt or maybe look a little bit stupid after the case is over, but not really ever the prosecutor as much as this woman did. Imagine being a prosecutor on this case, okay, and having to hammer down on witnesses, trying to try a very important state case, and all of a sudden you find yourself on the witness stand being asked about potential cover-ups and crooked detectives. I mean, I'm embarrassed for her. Like, I literally, like, I can't even think of anything that would make me cringe harder.
I did not. He actually approached me for the first time last week.
Okay. And what did he tell you?
That the recollection and whatever he said at that time, that there was no request for anyone to lie or anything to that nature.
But, okay, let's go back to it. So, Detective Moretti, you know that Ms. Boutros is never going to work with Detective Moretti again and call him slimy and untrustworthy.
Correct.
Sustain. Rephrase your question.
When you find that out, you talk to Detective Moretti, correct? You just focus.
I asked him to write a report. I did not speak anything about what Ms. Boutros said to me or anything of that nature.
Okay. What's the next thing you do on this as far as his statement?
In terms of after his report is issued?
Well, as far as the incident that occurred in which Ms. Boutros is claiming that he was soliciting Deputy Garl to lie, what's the next thing that you do after, I guess it's 5 days later, 7 days later after this occurs? You talk to Moretti, what happens next?
After I got his report and made no indication about any request to lie or to have BSOs say that they were there when they were not, I at some point reviewed parts of the statement. I had requested copies of, from the Sheriff's Office to preserve any and all surveillance that existed to see on timeframes as to anything that had happened.
Did you talk to Ms. Boutros about it?
No, the only conversation I had with her was on October 17th when she called me. She does not come into the office on a regular basis. It's my understanding she works remotely.
Okay. So you never questioned Detective Moretti as far as what he actually said on that statement, or did you question him at some later date?
At some later date, I couldn't tell you exactly when.
Can you give us a rough estimate?
I could not.
Was it before or after the last trial?
Before.
And do you know who was around when the internal affairs investigation was over? Before that?
It was before that.
Did you have any input in the internal affairs investigation?
None at all. In fact, I only became aware of it when Mr. Adelstein told me that it was ongoing.
You didn't talk to the AI sergeant?
IA sergeant, perhaps you mean?
Whatever.
So once I became aware that there was an investigation, I contacted Miramar Police Department to find out the status of the complaint, because it's my understanding it was never elevated to an actual investigation because they found it without merit. And I said, I have a copy of the surveillance footage from that. If there's anything that you need and I can provide, I'd be happy to do so.
Now, you did say that you spoke to Detective Moretti prior to the IA report being concluded.
Yes.
And you don't know exactly when, but you know it was before.
That is correct.
Okay. And the subject of that conversation dealt with the allegations against him as far as trying to get Deputy. That rating notice that I just showed you, you're saying that there are incorrect statements of fact.
That is correct.
And the incorrect statement is that you were not told by Moretti that he was joking.
That is correct. The indication has always been, and if it was inartfully conveyed in some point, the indication has always been that Deputy Gorell responded in a very flippant manner when asked about showing up.
Flippant manner to whom?
To Detective Moretti.
Does he say that in his report, Gorell?
I don't believe so.
Okay. So the flippant matter came from Moretti, and somehow you communicated that Moretti said it was a joke. Is that what we're together?
I did not say that Moretti said that he had made a joke in any way, shape, or form.
So you've never made a statement that Moretti said he was joking?
My statement was, at all times, and if it was ever not clear or misinterpreted by whoever was listening to it, was that Deputy Gorell made the statement that was of a flippant nature.
Judge Murphy decided the allegations presented in court Friday were sustainable enough to call another hearing where the defense plans to call Prosecutor Bradley back to the stand, Detective Moretti, and the district's top state attorney, Prosecutor Harold Pryor. Jury selection for Melly's retrial will not begin on Monday, October 9th, like originally scheduled. Instead, next week, the judge said they will argue the state's motion to quash defense subpoenas of several prosecutors, including the elected state attorney. The defense motion to dismiss the case altogether will be heard next Friday on October 13th. If the case does move forward, then they will argue several outstanding motions the following week. Reporting for Law and Crime Network, I'm Elizabeth Milner.
I mean, my goodness, what a shit. I mean, this case just continues to be a shit show. How incredible is this development, guys? My mind would be completely blown if this case were to get dismissed against YNW Melly because of prosecutorial misconduct. I don't even know how to fathom that. Like, I really don't. I mean, it's beyond the scope. But we'll see. I don't see that happening. Completely dismissal. I could see more likely, you know, a prosecutor being brought in from a different county, or even the venue being changed. I don't know. But I just don't see what they're going to do about this. It seems like there's a lot more, you know, motions and things like that from defense attorneys and defendants coming out. Murdaugh was one. This is one now of calling attention to misconduct on the part of the state and interference in these criminal cases that is borderline inappropriate and borderline illegal. I mean, it's just, it's amazing. It's truly something that you just don't see every day. So I don't know. What do y'all think will happen with this case? Do y'all think that the motion to dismiss will actually be considered? I don't know. Again, I'm skeptical just because it is a double homicide, so it's not very often that you would dismiss a case like that. But who knows? We'll have to see, I guess, where this all leads to. It sounds to me like it's just a bit of like omitting of evidence, omitting of statements that were made that make the detective look a little bit shady. But these people that are responsible for state cases, these people that are responsible for prosecuting criminals and our judicial system, they need to get their shit together. I mean, are you principled or not? Or do you have morals or not? Do you have standards or not? Because if you don't, you need to get the hell out and stop, you know, just trying to grab power by force or by way of like just being crooked. I mean, it's not how our system was built, and it's going to lead to more of this. It's going to lead to more of complete and utter mistrust in the system and people pointing their finger at inappropriate actions taken by the state's office. And it's going to lead to more mistrials or acquittals or possibly people who are guilty of crimes going free because the prosecutors and the clerks and other people can't get their shit together. Even judges, okay? I mean, my God, can we just not have a fair judicial system and one that is principled and has actual ethics? Is that too much to ask for? I don't think so. But what do you guys think? Do y'all think that Melly participated in witness tampering by way of, you know, phone calls, letters being sent out? I could see it. I mean, I could see it, but like, I don't know. They have to have some strong evidence for that. I'm under the impression that they have somebody, a witness that will testify to this, but I don't think that's been heard yet because they're trying to hear all of this accusations by the defense first before I guess they actually get into the witness tampering that they are being accused by Prosecutor KRISTINE Bradley in the state of Florida. So it's a giant mess, guys. It's already starting off as a giant mess. I think they need to remove this woman from the case and take it to another jurisdiction. I mean, at this point, this trial has gotten so big that you'd be hard pressed to find a group of jurors who had not heard about this or who are not biased or have some sort of opinion on this case. But we'll see where it goes. I want to know your thoughts. Please like the video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel, guys, if you can. If you haven't already done it, I would very much appreciate y'all for doing that. And yeah, we'll be covering it, guys. So on Monday, there's another hearing, and then all next week they're having hearings in regards to this case. I'll probably do a wrap-up video at the end of the week to just kind of update y'all on what all has taken place, where the trial stands, and then eventually, if they get to jury selection, we'll be covering the case throughout the course of this next trial. So until next time, guys, y'all take it easy, and I will see y'all later. Okay? Bye!
I just tell the truth, and telling the truth is crazy in a world full of lies. If you mix brilliance with bravery, that we can ignite something. Even this conversation alone can ignite the people.
The time is now to express and for people to believe in themselves. The time is now for it to be okay to be great. People in this world shun people for being great, for being a bright color, for standing out. But the time is now to be okay to be the greatest you.